Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Vantine here with Ted Inks. Today we have the Dealer Pay panel. And Ted, lots of conversations here with Dealer Pay that have been really innovating in the industry.
Dealer pay has grown in importance. It's amazing what Julie Douglas has built. Julie, welcome back, and you've got some friends with you here as well.
Yes, thank you for having me. And yes, very good friends.
Dennis Gingrich and Tully Williams with the Niello company are with us, and maybe Tully, let's start with you. Bring us up to speed on what's happening.
It's funny we talk about credit card payments, but this is a thing that is like 99% of what transactions happen in fixed. Sales a little bit, but fixed is tremendously. And here's the deal, we don't think about it because normally the controller has control of the credit cards, no matter if it's good or bad. And what Julie has really done for us is that we have modernized our credit card processing. Now we have our credit card processing done at the counter where the service writer is. The parts people have theirs. We are mobile. The issue is that having a great credit card processor is key. Now, here's the deal. We here make no decisions on who's going to get a credit card company, but your controller does. And that's where Julie shines and tells us what we can do for us and make our controllers happy. So thank you.
Is it the controllers aren't happy?
We're not happy.
Right. Well, and here's the thing with accounting in general is, it's the money, right? It's the payment, it's the transaction. So if it works well in fixed or variable, it's still got to float up to the office.
Right.
All right, Dennis, here's where you come in, I think. Let's talk a little bit about variable.
Oh, my God, really?
Modern payment convenience.
Yeah, well, I mean, that is definitely a friction point. Nobody likes paying for anything. So if you can make that process quick and easy to collect for the customer, it makes the customer experience that much better. And also the tool has to be very user friendly, not only for the individuals in fixed, but also, and probably more so, because to Tully's point, we don't take as many payments as they do in the fixed operations department. It's frequent amounts. It's, sometimes there's none, sometimes there's a lot. So, if a salesperson or a finance manager can use that tool in an environment that they're used to working in, it just makes us better at collecting the money and keeping our controllers happy, because if they're not happy,
we're not happy.
We're not happy.
Julie, I want to touch on, again, we've talked about the controllers, but going into the pieces that Dealer Pay really helps support. Obviously, the controllers are very concerned about making sure everything is accounted for properly and there's no surprises when they're looking at the reconciliation every day. But how do you really enable the customer experience to be complete? Because customers are really looking for a lot of quick solutions that are going to help them transact fast too.
Sure. So customer expectations are obviously high. Convenience is huge. They don't have a lot of time to get things done. So what we've done is provide options for them to pay how they want to pay. And that, in my opinion, especially with payments being sort of the last experience they have at the dealership, it needs to be flawless. It needs to go off without a hitch, and it needs to be connected to all the other systems inside the dealership.
I think, too, is that you offer the payment style where we can text them the link to pay at home, which I think sometimes people are more comfortable with. And that is a really big deal for us when that happened. It just helps the process. So now when the customer comes in to pick the car, the payment process is done. Everybody's happy. And now we can give the love and kisses and give them to their car. To me, that helps us tremendously amount.
Yep. And Dennis, I'm imagining, on the sales side, F&I has always been a big potential bottleneck for that delivery experience. How has this really transformed the speed in which the customer can transact in finance?
Well, it's really great. I mean, we operate predominantly in the luxury space. So, when you think about from an F&I perspective, yes, they have a lot of paperwork to do, a lot of compliance needs. And hell, I've been an F&I manager and actually forgot to get a payment because you actually have to get out of your chair. And F&I managers, we don't like to get out of our chair. But when it's right there at our desk, or we can text a link and we could stay in our chair, we're much more successful because we're in our little environment. And then also just being able to facilitate payments on remote transactions. We have a lot of customers that aren't even visiting our store. So to Tully's point, texting it out there so the customer can complete that process is great. And what we're really excited about is, your partnership that you formed with DriveCentric, which is our CRM, and that being native in that application, because I am really pushing across the entirety of variable that all communication lives in that CRM, because if I can see what's going on, I can now manage it. And I think we have a big responsibility to collect money to keep the controllers happy. So
Absolutely.
Julie, as you look into your crystal ball for the balance of 2026, what do you see ahead? What's happening in terms of modern payments, convenience? Because the industry is changing rapidly, and this has gained amazing acceptance as we've gone ahead.
So yes, I think when you use the word modern in the past, it scared dealers a little bit because it meant like, oh, I have to change. It's probably going to be complicated. We're really just fine tuning all of our tools to be just as user friendly as possible, checking all the boxes from compliance to connections, so the dealers don't have to worry about it. The more we can take on behind the scenes to help them to be more successful is my ultimate goal this year.
Okay. All right. And Dennis, going back to the F&I side, if I may, Sarah mentioned the bottlenecks that happen typically on that side. What do you see ahead in terms of things like modern payment convenience and implementing that and integrating that throughout the dealership as we go into 2026?
I think just giving customers, I mean, the industry has an affordability issue. So I think, in terms of just broader scale leasing, but, just giving other opportunities for consumers to perhaps buy protection products,
Yes.
with various financing terms, because sometimes putting some of those maybe in a lease or on their loan is not the best way to do it. So I think coming up with unique ways to facilitate the purchase of F&I products, because we all know, Tully and I talk about it, those things drive the consumers back to our dealerships and keeps them in our circle of life.
And finally, Dennis, will variable outshine fix this year?
I just don't want to hear Tully,
Whoa.
so I'm going to say no.
Whoa. Be careful there. Be careful.
Tully, I'll give you the last word.
All right, I want to say that modern convenience is a huge deal. When we look at we drive in retention, we're in the repeat and referral business. Is the payment process is a huge deal for consumers. We always talk about, are we answering the phones? Are we selling products? Are we making people happy? But if we can't pay correctly and we can't make that an easy process, they will not return. So payment process is a huge deal to drive our retention. Our goal always being over 70%.
All right, there you have it, everybody. You got it from the leaders, Tully Williams and Dennis Gingrich from the Niello Company. Thank you so much today. Julie Douglas, continued success to you and Dealer
Thank
Pay
you.
under the Velo brand as well. So congratulations on all that.
Thank you, Tim.
And how you are changing the industry.
Absolutely. One day at a time.
Sarah, Vantine are here, and I are here. We'll be right back at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.